what is the definition of success?
So achieving your vision, all right, whatever you put up, if you achieve that one, that means you're successful. So you achieve your, and again, vision we're talking about, it could be a 20 years old vision, right? Or 20 years long. For example, I want to be a doctor in life, for example, let's say. So that's my vision, to be the best #1 doctor. So now it will take 20 years to reach to the point where you are the #1 doctor in the world, and everyone is calling you, and the media and interviews and so not, hundreds of awards. But are you going to be happy at the end of the day? So being successful doesn't mean that you're always happy. So you need to make sure that there's a tangible definition of success, and then there's intangible definition of success. Now, successful person, I believe, is the one who is happy inside and outside.
If you're happy, means you're successful.
You're successful, yeah. So see, honesty is the best policy. You've heard this before, right? I mean, there used to be like essay in our school. So you need to be honest about something that if you don't know. There was a job, and that was earlier in my career. Back in 2007, I did an interview for a Korean company. Right? They used to make these cables and all. So it was an industrial area. And I was doing this interview with the GM, and he asked me something, and I didn't know that. So I told him, like, I'm not sure about this, but I can get it done because I have some friends who are working in the same area. So I can get the answer, and that's fine. The job can be done. So it's not a problem. He liked the answer, and he told me, like, and they offered me, by the way. So I didn't accept it, but because I went for a different job. So, but he said the best thing that about this interview is you honestly told me, like, you don't know this, but you're resourceful. So being resourceful is very important. Know where to get the information, know how to get the work done. So if you have friends who are all like, awara and all, okay, it's a good thing because they help you to be street smart. But you need to have friends, who are knowledgeable, who can guide you, who can put you in the right track. And by the way, if you have those friends, don't leave them, help them. All right. I mean, if you become knowledgeable, if you become successful in life, then help them to be successful as well. Exactly. You need to make sure that, so that's to the audience. Don't leave your friends alone. All right. So if they need help and support, help them by educating them, by transferring the knowledge, putting them in a training program, or tell them, hey, let's go and attend this training with me for free. So help them. All right. So this is what is the best thing you can do to your friends is change their life also.
Get back to the topic. If I don't know the answer of this question, don't need to sorry sir, I don't know. You need to tackle them. Like,
see, I'll just add to this one. When you say I don't know, and if you have their email or their number, most likely you would have at least their emails. You can also tell them, like, I'm not sure right now, but I can get back to you if you want. I can send you by email, or maybe an audio message on WhatsApp, or I can call you just in the evening today, or maybe tomorrow morning. So get this time, and then go do your research, study, and then get back to them. And by the way, I gained one client this way, because I went there and he asked me something, and it was like, I think 9 or 10 in the morning, and he asked me something about that was the trade business. And I told him, I'm not sure. It was about the unemployment data that they release. He's like, what is this effect on the market? I'm like, I'm not sure, but I can get back to you. So I went back to office, I asked my boss, and he explained in a very good way. And then at 6 p.m., the data used to come. I'm talking about in Pakistan. So when the data was released, I studied the market and called my client back and told him, this is the data, that's the impact, and that's how it should happen. And I gained that client, by the way.
Importance is communication.
Okay, so how are you going to convey a message without a proper communication? Okay, by the way, see, when we say communication, there is something, what I learned is in Pakistan, if you know, in Lahore, there was a KFC. What they did is they had disabled employees. Employees who have disability in speaking. So it was all sign language. So when you go there and you find out if you want to order this, there's a sign language for that, right? So you can order them whatever you want. So they had this special branch for that. Now, but that it means if I want to order, I still have to do my sign language, right? So the communication has to be there, whether if it's words, whether if it's a medium that we use, whether if it's a sign language, whatever or however, communication has to be there. So you need to make sure that you learn to be effective in communication and make sure that you convey the message in the right way, in a correct way.
Like, we are Pakistani, I put a condition, like, you are an interviewer, I'm a candidate, you ask me a question, I'm giving you an answer, but I slept English words or like phrase. I said that in our native language, in Urdu.
Yeah, so let's say if I'm doing an interview and you want to say something in Urdu, see, again, depending on how mature the interviewer is. For me, I'm fine if you say something in Urdu. That's fine. I understand what you wanted to say, and it's okay for me because I know if I hire you and I need to put you in a language training, maybe communication training, maybe, or I need to train you by myself because I want you to be at some position.
Okay.
So it's my job as well to put you in the right place. All right, and if I'm mature enough, I can accept your Urdu answer. All right, that's okay, or any other language, as long as you convey to me the message. Now imagine that I don't speak Urdu and you tell me something in Urdu. Now
No,
this
no,
will be an
it's a-
awkward
it's a
situation, right?
different-
Yeah, you don't want to be in an awkward situation. You
Yes.
don't want to embarrass me or yourself. So if you know that I speak Urdu and I know, then you can tell me in Urdu. But like if you say something in Urdu and like, hey, you know what? I asked a question in English. Why are you saying in Urdu? There might be people like that. So I believe that there should be some flexibility in both ways, because at the end of the day, why we are hiring you? To fulfill some role, to fulfill some objective that we have, and you are going to help us to achieve the objective. It's both ways. So respect has to be there for both sides. So if you tell me something in Urdu, that's still fine. So I think, through your podcast, take this clip, send to those HR and tell them, like, you know what, my message is, please be flexible. When you ask questions, if someone is telling something in their mother tongue, like Arabic or Urdu or any other language, that's fine, accept it. If you want this person and you want them to be learned, train them. See, that's a good way to think about it. But see, at the end of the day, it's a presentation. So how you present it, it also matters. Exactly. See, now let's say if I'm going to hire you as a media spokesperson, of course your maturity in language has to be there. So if I hire you and you cannot say few words or specific phrases, or your English is not that good, because we are hiring you as a media spokesperson to be in English. Now imagine if I want to hire you in Arabic, that means your Arabic Fusha is supposed to be there. So it's again depending on the role that you're hiring for people, and that's where the language, the communication, all these things matter.
Now, how is AI hiring changed?
We've heard maybe many times, and since I'm in the industry and specifically I have an IT background, people say that AI is here to stay. Okay, fine, agree, accept it. But then what and where and how? So all that everyone has to learn individually and need to know that how it's applicable to them. So from HR perspective, they put all the CV and say, this is my, with one prompt, they upload, like, for example, hundreds of CVs, and they say, find me the best candidate for my job, which is the role responsibilities match. And there are bots and there are different tools that they have, agents they have. So they screen the CVs, and out of hundreds, they give me only 3, for example. Now, what about those other 99 or 97 or 500 that maybe one of the best guy is there? But I will not go and look at them because AI has helped me, and I'm assuming AI is giving me the best. Now, I'll be smart enough if I really go and look at those CVs, or I have at least my assistant to go through what I'm looking for, and maybe my assistant can find someone manually. So AI will may make mistake. AI has done mistakes. I personally have an idea.
Yes.
I asked for something, give me wrong numbers. When I look into the system and when I look into the Google itself, or when you go and find online, the data is different. So
Yes.
there's a difference between the paid version and unpaid version, and then there's a difference between what you're exactly asking. Sometimes you ask on what is tea, and it will tell you the procedure on how to make a tea. This is not what you ask for. So you have to be careful about what you ask. So when you talk about hiring process, yes, a lot of people, they want to change their process, they want to make it more efficient, quick and fast using AI. But then my role, my job is to make sure that is it done right. So but that's my part. Your part as an applying for a job as an employee, make sure that your profile, your CV will land in my hands, even through if it's filtered by AI. So what have you put in there? What are the keywords you use? So you need to understand how AI will work. Based on their working, prepare your profile.
Everybody talk about keywords. Now I understand what is the importance of keywords.
Prepare your CV yourself, complete CV, 3 pages, 10 pages, doesn't matter. Now tell AI that, okay, this is my profile. Please review, read, give me my weakness, and improve that as if it's going to ABC company. So now they will upgrade your CV. They send it back to you, because what they will do, they will change your summary that you have written. Now read it again and see what changes are there. I mentioned this earlier as well, but use it to your benefit. So that means now once AI written CV will go to the system, AI is reading AI's written format. So most likely they will also accept your keywords that is coming from the AI to the AI. It's like two cousins talking. So it's like wasta. All right.
Cousin
So
wasta.
wasta between the AI and AI. So this guy say, hey, you know what? I prepared this CV, so please accept my guy. So that's how things work out.
Okay. Now LinkedIn is important.
All the social media tools are important. So not only just LinkedIn, but LinkedIn is one of the very important social media tools. I have gained some benefits from LinkedIn. All right. I have a very good friend. He was offered a job in King Saud University because they find him through LinkedIn. He was in Pakistan, and and I know a lot of people, they get hired through LinkedIn because someone see their profile. All right. I have received a call, by the way, for I was shortlisted for one of the jobs earlier, and that they've seen my profile through LinkedIn. So make sure your LinkedIn profile is there and it's updated. See, the worst thing, if you are introvert, at least once a month, go to your LinkedIn, see what's there, update your profile, update your skills, any certification you have. Don't spend more than like half an hour or something, all right, if you're not the best guy on social media, but at least post one item on LinkedIn at least once a month. Or like, someone's article. If you read, if you're introvert, for sure you must be like reading. Read some articles, uh, like something, put some comments there, be visible. So
But now, I'm trying to learn. That's why I start my podcast, because I love to learn and I'm a quick learner.
then you can find what have they have done. It's a very good tool to know what they have done. So it's a shortcut for you, right? So it's helping you, learn something that they have done in many years. So easily you can cut down 10 years. Now, second thing, I've heard many people, they say I'm good learner. Prove it. Prove means, now since you mentioned that you don't have LinkedIn account, your job is within 2 to 3 days, build up your LinkedIn profile and send me your LinkedIn profile, like either WhatsApp or email or whatever. So when I see your LinkedIn profile and I see that, okay, it's really built well, maybe you've seen my profile. So build based on what I have done there. Alhamdulillah, I have a good profile. So because I keep updating and I put things there, well, I mean, you don't have to again copy paste, but see what I have done and do the same, or maybe find someone better and do a better LinkedIn profile. So when I see within 2 to 3 days that you have put up your LinkedIn profile, it's well done. That means yes, you're a good learner. That's a proof that you're a good learner. So don't just say it, mean it.
Okay. One interview tip everybody should know.
Okay, so if it's one, that means how am I going to add value to your organization?
Okay.
This is the core message, because the whole interview is about the value. Exactly, how you're going to add value to the company.
The social media affect hiring.
Okay, there's a good effect.
Yes.
So otherwise, if you are visible, because HR people, they are there, talent acquisition people are there. There are professionals who want to see you where you are. So maybe a CEO can spot you through a TikTok video. Maybe, we don't know. But normally, that happens rarely. All right, but it happens. So whatever you are putting up there. Now, if you're very good professional, you have a very good skills, or you have something that you want to convey to the world, find a medium and start conveying the message. You're doing podcasts, a very good example. And mashallah, you are here early in the morning, you're on time or even earlier than the time. And so I get to know you. You get to know a lot of people. You learn a lot from there. So this is an example that you're using a medium and a social media as well to learn and to convey and be visible. So whatever you have, you can convey, and most likely after maybe 2 years, inshallah, we meet again, and I will be able to find that you've improved a lot in your language, in your communication, in your knowledge. So that change, it has to be there. But are you working towards that change? And that change, show it in the social media as well. I mean, time to time, not everything you have to convey, but try to show that yes, you are in a process of learning and you are doing something that is adding value to people's life.
Actually, first of all, I can't speak English properly, but I start my podcast, I learn.
See, mashallah, I've noticed that from your introduction, right? So that's fine, no problem, right? I could have said like, hey, let's do this interview in Urdu, but it's very good on your part that you're continuing. You're not discouraged. You know that, okay, you have the weakness in language, okay?
Yes,
I'll say that, and you are learning and you're improving. This is the best thing that you can do. And of course, keep doing it. And as I said, in 2 years, most likely even earlier, we'll see that you reach to a point where you will be you're speaking better than many others.
Okay, most memorable interview.
Okay, so I'll just add something to the previous statement.
Yes.
You need to know your weakness, not because it will discourage you, but because you want to improve it. So that's one of the best things. So I just talk about the language. If you know this is your weakness and you're already working on it to improve, that's the best thing that everyone can do. Know the weakness so that you can improve it, convert it into a strength.
Maybe you know that he's now number 3 in the world.
Oh, mashallah. Good.
Position in the world. But my aim is number one podcaster in the world, inshallah.
Mashallah.
My
Inshallah.
aim
Inshallah.
is, and I'm trying to, Allah give me strength and
Inshallah. Best wishes to you, Khuram, and I think you're doing great job. And majorly, I think, see, through this media or medium, if people get to learn at least one thing from the podcast, that means you're adding your value. So there is a statement, apne hisse ki balti. Yeah. So if everyone can think about what value they can add to others' life, that is something best you can do. So you're doing great job, and best wishes. Inshallah, you'll be number one. It's just consistency is the key.
Consistency,
all right?
yes.
And your parents.
I'm always pray to Allah, please give me consistency.
Inshallah, inshallah, and of course your parents' prayers. Right? That's great. Inshallah. Okay, so interview that I have done, or interview that I have taken. So for me, I have done some interviews in life, and when you say the most memorable, alhamdulillah, I remember a lot from those interviews.
Only one.
But a key memory that I have, I think an interview I've done recently, by the way, and when I say recently, it means in last few months, where someone actually told me that you don't have something mentioned about strategy in your CV or in your profile, whereas you have built strategy, you have done a lot of strategic work, and you implement strategy. So add that part to your strategy. So that was a great value or an advice that they've given me to add in my profile, which was missing. Which for me, I believe, if you're already a founder and you're already in executive director positions and all that, it's already understood by the employer that you're working in a strategic area. But that's a good thing that they mentioned. They want to explicitly see the skill in the CV, that what you want to convey. So don't think that they will assume. You have to make sure that they know it. All right. So by putting it in the profile, highlight it. And then the interview that I've taken, I think, you talk about Vasta earlier. So I interview one of my now very good friends, all right, like brother. He was, and that's earlier in when I established Smart Irtekaz. So I've been referred. This guy been referred by a couple of my friends. So one from my neighbors is like, there's a guy you're looking for a job, and I'll send him you this guy. And then I'm like, okay, fine. And then another one of my friends, childhood friends, he sent me this guy. He's like, if you see this guy is good, then please hire. So that interview was with Adil Afzal, right? Is very good. It's like as a sibling, as a brother now, right? And the first time when you meet is mashallah mutawa with the big beard and all, and quite young at that time. Of course, we're talking about maybe like 24, 25 years old, and he was new to Saudi Arabia, maybe 1 year old. So that interview was very good because he worked in call center earlier, so his communication skills were good. Accent was good as well. All right, he was speaking in English. Personality wise, he was mashallah very good because he's tall and young, of course, at that time. Yeah. So see, handsome doesn't matter. So, but it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, you're hiring someone to add value, who can get the work done, and he has done mashallah great job. And by the way, just to let you know, he started in a very lower package, and there was a time when he was able to make twice as much as in commissions than the proper package or the salary package. So that is something that people can get done in their salary, in their bonus, in their commissions, especially if it's sales and marketing. So when you talk about negotiation, think from other perspective as well. What can you negotiate? Because maybe package sometimes is not that heavy, but maybe commission you can negotiate, or bonus you can negotiate, because that may add a lot of value at the end of the year. Salary. So negotiate from that as well. Well, yeah, I shouldn't say disgusting, but I would say most disappointing. See, one part is when someone comes in a t-shirt, not getting ready, and you're quite ready, by the way, all right? Disgusting in a way that, yeah, if someone is coming and did not take shower, did not get ready, and all have messy hair and all, so that's a body language, personality. So remember, it's a package. So again, alhamdulillah, I shouldn't call it disgusting, by the way, but yeah, it's not very, it doesn't give a good vibe. So secondly, when you talk about someone and they are irritated by a question that you ask, so the behavior, the attitude. Some people
too much attitude.
Exactly.
They don't have, but attitude too much.
For example, you ask a question and you tell them, okay, tell me about the previous job. Maybe they didn't have a good experience, so they are not going to tell you something good about it. It's all negativity. But you know what? That doesn't give me good feedback about you. That doesn't bring me good vibes, because Even if it's a job where you have a bad experience, but that bad experience is helping you, that bad experience is going you to move places, so that means this bad experience was a positive for you. So think positivity in negativity.
Okay, tell me some habits of good and very excellent employee.
No, I would say, see, you ask a task, you ask them to do something, they complete it on time, plus they maybe add some value to it, an extra value, an extra edge. So, for example, I ask you 1 plus 1 is what? 2, but you come back to me with 1 plus 1 is 3. That's basically an excellent employee. Plus, you don't always come with the problem, you come with the solution as well. I mean, you've heard it maybe earlier as well, but practically do that. For example, go one step ahead than your boss. Go one step ahead what they're thinking. Right now you complete something, and most likely there'll be a weekly report that we require for this. So go prepare the sales report even before the boss is asking, and show them and tell them, hey, this is what I've done. What do you think we should add or improve in there? So think one step ahead. Now, by the way, AI is there. So give a prompt to AI that, I'm working in this capacity. This is what my boss tell me. What do you think are the next steps I should do, or what further I can improve? So get AI help, but again, build your proper mechanism through, again, based on your manual understanding that you have to automate it. Don't automate it and then, be in trouble because what the automation is telling you is wrong.
When I enter in restaurant, my store manager said that now you are as a crew. Now your position is crew, but you work like as a
Team lead.
kitchen leader.
Yeah.
But when you are as a kitchen leader, you work as a supervisor. When you as a supervisor, work as a manager.
Exactly.
You
No,
do,
that's a very good mentality, all right? And this is basically what we are talking about. So think one step ahead, and that also you can think from a position as well. The only thing you have to be realistic, and don't let the negativity come in, because you may think you are a manager while you are a supervisor, for example, and then when next promotions come, someone else become manager. Now you'll be thinking, oh, mentally I was acting as a manager and thinking that I might be promoted as a manager, but you're not. So don't take this as a negative way, all right? Feel still as a manager and act as a manager. Do things as a manager. Now act as a manager mean don't be rude, because now your attitude with your team members, they may think, oh, you're thinking you're a manager now. So you want to make sure that nazakat comes, all right, that attitude comes, but again in the right way.
final advice for job seeking someone.
See, when you say final advice, it's very difficult and it's challenging because time changes over time. So everything is changing day by day. Today, I may tell you an advice that won't work after maybe a week or won't work after a month. So these days, majorly, you want to make sure that you are visible. That's the key thing that is there right now. Of course, you have to use your Vasta, use it as much as you can. You make sure that you land to the window at least in the right way, with the right job, with the right. Don't go for to the windows where you're not applicable. So don't go for a job if you're not into risk management. Don't go for that job. Go for the job where you're applicable. You can apply for that job. So make sure that you're aligned. If you want to say one advice, that's why I said it's challenging. All right, it's a bigger chunk of an advice, but it's a complete package. Make sure that you do things in the right way. Use your Vasta in the right way. Go to the right job. Be aligned. Your skills in your CV are aligned with what you do, and communicate in the right way to the employer, and make sure that you tell them how you can add value. So all these things supposed to be visible enough. Use your social media, use your references, but again, don't overdo it. So do it in the right way.
Okay, now if someone working in like me, like I am, why I'm like suggest someone, I'm working in restaurant, I want to change profession. I think I'm not able to, like, I'm not for this job. Like want more, like I want change profession, but I don't know what is my my way and where I go. Like I want
Right.
someone office, like marketing, like IT, someone. How do I understand my capability
Yeah.
is?
See, one thing that I learned over life is I went to one of our VP, vice president. I'm talking about back a few years ago, and he was from Australia. So I went to Patrick, and because I attended one session for him where I facilitated his training or his workshop from an operational excellence perspective. So I thought I will be the one who's conducting, because that's why they asked my help. But then he conducted himself. But anyway, I went to him and I told him, like, I want to request you to be my mentor. And you cannot imagine, he was happy about it. all right? And he, because see, people by nature, they want to add value to others' life. There are paid mentors available. You can get their help as well. But there are a lot of people, they want to add value to your life, because see, at the end of the day, your father is the best mentor. I mean, the best person who can be happy from your success are your parents. So, for sure, have them your unpaid mentors in life. So I think that is very important. Don't tell them, but professionally think that they are your mentor. Go to them all the time, like at least once a week. Talk to them about the professional career. Now, see, if they're not in the same profession, they can still help you in some advice. They can still tell you something that they have learned of like 20, 30, 50 years of their life. Your grandfather, grandmother, your uncle, your aunt, they are your best people that you can go to from learning perspective. You can think about, my aunt doesn't know anything about business. Oh, you know what? She lived like 30 years, 40 years. She has more experience, maybe better experience than anyone in the family. So she can teach you something from that negativity that can be the best thing for you in life. How to maybe avoid the worst people in life, or maybe what to do in a very bad situation. So the learning can come from anywhere, from anyone. But coming back to your point, have mentor in life. So for example, if you come to me as a mentor, and now because that being means I would know you personally, I may ask you quick questions. And our first session with Patrick was, he tell me, okay, tell me about yourself. So explain him about what I have done, what's my journey. That's where he know, and he was taking notes. So next time when we have our session, and by the way, our session was booked for half an hour and went for 1 hour. And I'm talking about VP. It's a very important position. He is like crazy busy all the time. So, and he was happy about this session, and he was happy that I went to him and approached him to be my mentor. So that's where, if there are people that you think they can help you and support you in life, go to them, talk to them. And what's the worst can happen? You know what, I'm very busy, sorry, I cannot be your mentor. I know at least 20, 30 people, they can willingly be a mentor to someone if someone will approach them. So through your podcast, I will tell people, like, if you are looking for a mentor, let me know. And that's unpaid mentor we are talking about. That's people who are on a very high position. I already have candidate me, but yes, you can be part of it through your podcast. Yes, you're the first one, right? So see, there is something which is very important, and that's the book that I have. My son was saying me this just last week. All right, and he said there is something. Can I say something? And I'm like, yeah, go ahead. What? He said there is something that I feel your father did not see you succeed. I mean, he didn't see me have my book being authored. He didn't see me having my VCEO app being launched. Yes. And alhamdulillah, we are doing okay, all right? Not the best, but inshallah, we'll reach there. So he was like, I think he must have heard somewhere, or maybe he has watched some video, but he came to me with this concern. And I told him, no, my father has alhamdulillah seen my success, and alhamdulillah, he was happy with my career, where I've been going, with the company that I have established, and with my children being born. So he has seen my 3 kids, alhamdulillah. So that's a success. I mean, your parents are very happy when they see the blessings that you have. So life is all about being patient and being, gratitude. So if you are thankful for what you have, and you're patient for what you don't have, and it will come inshallah all along the way. That's all it is. And if your parents have seen any of those, alhamdulillah, they are good. So your father hasn't seen you, in this situation, but inshallah, once we all meet in Jannah, that's inshallah. Where that's the ultimate success we are talking about.
Now you mention a book. My guest, right? He's an author. Happiness, a way of life. Why you decide this topic of this book?
So there are multiple books I start writing, and I'll just share, like, and when I start writing, that's another question, right? I think it was exactly about 11 years ago. Okay. One of my room, I painted it with oil paint, so I can write on the walls. All right. But anyway, then I got married. So I told my friend to go and repaint the room, because we want to prepare this as a bedroom now. Yes. So he's like, Nanda, you have some notes on the wall. I told him, like, take a picture and send it to me and then paint it. At that time, there was about, I think, 7 or 9 books, the titles that I have, that I was working on. Okay. And one of them was happiness. It's just, they're different things. So alhamdulillah, what I've learned over life, I mean, imagine an expatriate living in Saudi Arabia or grown up in Saudi Arabia, you have your own challenges. Then went to US, so that's where basically become a Pardesi, right? Yes, you live life without parents and without family and siblings. Yeah. So you get to learn a lot, live alone. Then you get back and you start your career, and you start from, I was making $2,000 US in US from 2 3 different jobs. When I come back to Pakistan, my first job was 10,000 rupees. That was $100. So from $2,000 to $100. So that's where the happiness come from, right? Again, that hits you, but you need to learn on how to overcome. And alhamdulillah, it took maybe like few moments to get back to reality. Like, this is fine. And alhamdulillah, I didn't stay with 10,000 for like not even a month. Bonus and commission started and all that, right? Then you move to Saudi Arabia again, you start your career, then switching jobs, job life, family life. I didn't have kids for like 15 years of my married life. So that all is the journey. So at the end of the day, the question that you ask yourself, and especially in last 5 years or 10 years, where the depression and stress and all those things are coming in, they become hot topic. So that's where I was like, for me personally, I believe being happy, it means, are you happy by nature? Because some people are happy by nature, some people are unhappy by nature. So you have to change, you have to convert. They take a longer time to be happy than staying in the same state. So happiness is a state of mind. Small moments, they come together and they make the whole journey. So one quote that I have here is, happiness is a journey where you decide your companion, you decide where you're going to stop, and you are the one to decide your route. So it's about you. Now you're doing this podcast, you are, mashallah, I want to appreciate what you have done is like, you complete your night shift without your sleep, you come and you're doing this session. Yes. So that's hard work you're putting into your work, and that's what making you happy.
Yes, I'm happy. Yeah. Even today, 5 o'clock, I go. I didn't sleep today.
So basically, what we're talking about here is that all come together. So that moments, at the end of the day, when you achieve your objectives, you'll be, again, that's your success, and that's what's making you happy. Then you achieve your objective number 2 and objective number 3. At the end, you're achieving your vision, whatever you have in life, whether if it's monetarily values or whether if it's intangible values. But that's the life about. So why a topic? Because that's, I felt, the most need in life, because everything become more materialistic. People are linking happiness with, do I have a new car, do I have a house, do I have that, which is not the real case.
They have car, big house, all the things, but they don't have happiness. That's why I think you decide happiness a way of life.
Okay. So for me personally, I believe that, and we are talking about here some tips and trips. A lot of assessments are there. Majorly, there is assessment which is a little bit more detailed, maturity model assessment. So like from your health perspective, from your family perspective, multiple ways how you can balance, bring a proper balance in life as well. You cannot just be with friends all the time, and you cannot be with the family all the time. I mean, for sure, it won't work. So you have to have a proper balance.
You have motivation from someone. He's your ideal personality.
See, one of the best motivation that you have in life, and I think we all have, is Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. When you talk about success, that's where the success come from. What you want to be, and wherever you are in any situation, if you think about what kind of advice he would give us, and all the studies are there, and you can find something which is the best for you that will work. Whether you're in a bad situation because of your health matters, or family members having some issues, or financial issues that you have. So all these situation scenarios we have. So the best mentor in life, the best model in life is Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Then of course you can also go to different Sahaba, his companions, because there are a lot of life lessons that we can get from there.
Yes.
So then you come to your life and you find out your parents, what they have done. Just the other day I was remembering something, and I want to share that, because one time I just spoke something in my finger, right? It was like, I think, a glass, because it broke and it just got into my finger. And in our houses, mothers, they are like, they bring the needle and they start, they poke more, all right, they try to take it out. But it went in a bad situation where I still feel something is there, and told my father, I still feel something there. Then he's like, okay, let me take you to hospital. So he took me to one of the hospitals. I remember the doctor, right? That's why I said I remember that incident. Okay. Anyway, so she looked at my finger and she's like, okay, what happened? And I told her, like, oh, no, I felt something is there. And then my mother, she tried to do her surgery, and she was like, okay, that's what mothers do. They shouldn't do that. They should come right away here. And then, because, again, the needle maybe is not properly, what do you call this?
Biologically,
biologically ready for it. Yeah. So anyway, I think they understand.
People know very well.
Now, what I was remembering is, my father leaving what he was doing, and it was one of the holidays. So I think some guests were there as well. So he left his friends and he took me, and the half an hour that he spent, and then the doctors being lashing out at, like, at me, and he's listening like, why mothers do this and all. So all that incident, that was, I was recalling it because what he has done. That's what fathers do. That's what parents do. They give a part of their life for the success of their children, and then the balance that we have. So altogether, this is what I was getting into. From what is done, what's supposed to be done, the life, and all that.
Yeah.
So all 12 years I studied in Pakistan Embassy School, Riyadh, and later on it was called Pakistan International School, Riyadh. So we have a lot of alumni. There are a lot of kids. They have studied from there. Even the school is here now, right? So, but the campus has changed. So we have a lot of fond memories of our teachers. May Allah bless them all. Bless those who have passed away with Jannah. And they have done great job in transferring knowledge, values they have instilled, with us. So Alhamdulillah, it was a great experience. Oh well, see, at those times we had only two schools, right? So it was like International Pakistan School, and then for Indian it was International Indian School. For all those countries, they have their own embassy schools.
Yes.
But now there are a lot of international schools. You can go to anywhere you want. So it's about a matter of what the syllabus they have, what curriculum they follow. Okay. So method of teaching was very simple. Teacher would come, he will write on the board, and you have to copy. And then you have to remember everything and take and go to the exam, right? But see, I was fortunate enough, alhamdulillah, to go to different universities. Like, I studied in Colby Community College in Kansas. Then I went to New Mexico Tech in New Mexico. And then I've also studied 2 semesters in Pakistan in PICS. So the teaching style from different professors was different. Different institutes was different. So that's the first time when I went to US, you see that teacher is not coming and writing everything. One of our maths teacher, he used to have his notes done, and he would bring it and put it on, in front of the camera and all, and it will project it on the TV. He used to have a big TV. Yes. That's the first time I see TV in a classroom. And then you do trainings, and there are no notes. My class of psychology, no notes at all. He would come and he would talk. And he want us to take notes, by the way, all right? And even some, they don't take notes, because the psychology, it's more about, you understand things and all, and you write down in your own words what you understood. So it was a completely different style and methodology. In one of the classes in Pakistan, when I studied, one of the teachers, one of the very loved ones, I remember Professor Zaim Yaqub, right? And he, one of the best class that he attended, he would come, he talk, and then he will communicate with people. There's interaction a lot among the students, and then you have to give a talk about whatever you have learned at the end of the semester. So that is actually a bigger chunk of your grade. So what you speak, again, what you learn over the time. So all the style was changed. But here in Saudi, in our school, it was old traditional style, which was fine, I think. In those days, it was the best they could do. But I think now it has changed a little bit.